Okay, um, this is a video I'm making in response to a YouTube member. His handle is Hello People 4567, and he asked me. He was watching my vids and he liked my Navarro guitar and he wanted me to do a video on the guitar because he's thinking about buying one. And I guess he wanted to know features and likes and dislikes. There really is nothing I dislike about this guitar, so you won't hear me say that. But in any case, it's a PRS. For anyone else watching this video, that stands for Paul Reed Smith. It's essentially, basically a custom 24 model guitar, but uh, as far as the setup and scale and everything else, it's the same as a custom 24, but it's a Dave Navarro signature, which means it has a couple different features to it. Number one, the obvious one will be the color. You can't get a custom 24 in white. And it was the same when I bought it, which is really the only reason why I bought it. I think Dave Navarro is cool. I don't really like him that much. I don't dislike him. I just don't pay attention to him really. And I wanted the guitar because it was white. So I don't have a crush on Dave Navarro. Anyway, Carmen Electra, that's a different story. I digress. Anyway, uh, so it's basically a custom 24, but the color is different. It has a different switching system than what comes standard on a custom 24, and it has a Brazilian Rosewood fretboard. A normal custom 24 has a Indian Rosewood. Um, Brazilian Rosewood is more sought after, at least in the guitar world. It's supposed to be a better sound. I don't notice things like that. My ear isn't good enough. There's guys that can tell you that a brass block in the bridge sounds better than another kind of metal, or this wood sounds better than that wood for certain things, and I can't hear that well to tell you. But it came with it, so there you have it. And actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure you can even get Brazilian rosewood anymore for making guitars. Either that or it's really scarce. Um, so, whether you think that's cool or not is up to you. I think it's kind of cool. So, the color, Brazilian rosewood fingerboard is the difference between this and a regular custom 24, and also the switching. This is what they call their McCarty switching. Um, a regular custom 24 normally comes with a rotary switch. It looks just like one of these two knobs, but it sits here, and it twists to 5 different positions, which will give you 5 different sounds with your pickups. This has more of a traditional Les Paul toggle switch, 3 position. Okay, so when it's in the down position, it's on the bridge pickup. Middle position, it's both pickups. Up position will be just a neck pickup. And if I had to compare it to something, it would be closest to a Les Paul. A Les Paul scale is a 24 and 3/4 scale. Custom 24 is a 25-inch scale, and a Strat is a 25.5-inch scale. So the custom 24 kind of sits between a Les Paul and a Strat. It's right in the middle. So it really doesn't sound like either one or just like either one. It's kind of a great marriage of the two. If you want a guitar that kind of sounds somewhat like a Les Paul with the full pickups on, or you want a guitar that kind of sounds a little bit like a Strat with the coil tap going, that's kind of where this is, which is great for me because I play lots of different kinds of music in my band and I need that versatility. I can't just play one guitar in one setting all night long. It doesn't work. So the 3 positions with the toggle switch, and then you have what's called a coil tap, coil split, whichever way you want to call it, on the tone knob. Where you pull it up, it's a push pull. So you pull it up, and what that does is it taps the coil. So in the bridge pickup position, if you have the coil tap pulled up, instead of using the full pickup, you're only using one coil now. So, and I think it's the furthest coil here. So that kind of gives you more of a telly twang or a Strat twang if you were to use a Telecaster or a Strat with their pickup selector on their bridge pickup. It's a single coil type of a sound. Um, the coil tap being pulled up and the switch in the middle, now you're using one coil from each pickup. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the rear coil here on the bridge pickup and the front coil here closest to the neck on these two. And I'm not sure if they're series or parallel. You can look that up online. Again, kind of a stratty sound. Really great for dance music and funk. I use that a lot. I also use um, the neck position pickup with the coil tap pulled up, and I think it's just as closest coil to the neck here. Again, kind of gives you that bluesy strat neck pickup sound, single coil type of a sound. So you can really do a lot with this guitar, um, and thank God because I need it. Really good sounds. Let me see scales. It's got locking tuners. I'm not sure if you can see that, which are great. No muss, no fuss. You pretty much, when you're changing strings, you put the string through the post, and then you turn this. This has a slotted head, kind of like a screw. You can use a screwdriver. You can even use a coin. And the manual tells you can use a quarter or a dime or nickel, which is actually what I do. I purposely keep a quarter on my guitar bench when I'm changing strings for that purpose alone, just to use on this guitar. It's kind of funny. Um, Tuners, they don't, they're a great gear ratio. They don't take a long time to bring their string up the pitch when you're changing strings. So that's really good. Nice tremolo. Really, really, I don't want to call it soft. It's pretty heavy duty. You can do some dive bombs and do a lot of things with it, but it's pretty, pretty precise. Stays in tune well. Um, I think Fluid Roses are great. I think at one time they were my favorite tremolo, but now it's the PRS tremolo. It's just a little more, it just has a little more finesse, I guess, which is kind of where my playing is right now. So those are the differences between a regular Custom 24 and a Dave Navarro. Not much. So if you want to try a Custom 24 at your closest music store, you'll pretty much get the idea of this guitar. It does have something kind of special about it. I will say that I like it. This is my favorite guitar, pretty much that I own and that I've ever played. Period. I mean, hands down, this is my favorite guitar of all time, and this thing will go to my grave with me. So I can't tell you why. It just, for some reason, it just sounds and feels just that much better than every other Custom 24 or guitar period that I've ever played. So lucky for me. Comes with their wide thin neck, which really isn't that thin. It's not Ibanez thin. It kind of has a little bit of beef back here. It kind of fills your hand up nicely. But yet I can fly on it, and get around with ease. I changed the bridge saddles. The stock bridge saddles were gold, like the bridge, and they're good, but I started to develop burrs, which where the string meets the saddle, say this finger is a string where it comes into the saddle and goes down into the guitar, it creates like a little sharp edge in there after bending, so many times. And what will happen is you'll put a fresh set of strings on and play them for a day or two or a couple days, a week or whatever, and you'll break them prematurely because you had that little sharp edge that was developed in there. These Graphtecs have a Teflon coating, and they're very slippery, not, kind of like a Teflon kitchen pan. It's like a non-stick type of a pan. It's the same idea. So they don't really cause that that sharp edge in there. So my strings last a long time. And then the pickups I changed. The stock pickups that come with the Navarro and the Custom 24s are what they call an HFS and a vintage bass. The HFS stands for hot, fat, and screams. It's a little dorky if you ask me, but anyway, they're great. They're really good for. It's a high output pickup. It's really good for super screaming lead solo work and high output and all that. But that's not really quite my thing, and I need a lot more versatility with the kind of music that I play night to night. So I need more than just that, and that's really all the stock pickup does. It just kind of gives you that real high output screaming sound and not much else. I couldn't really seem to calm it down or tame it down, so I had to change them out. And the stock pickup that comes with the Paul Reed Smith with the 24 Navarro would be a vintage bass, which is pretty nice pickup. There's really nothing wrong with that pickup, but my set here seems to give me more clarity. It's a little lower output, more vintage sound, but it's more clarity and just sounds better overall. This is a JB in the bridge and a jazz pickup in the neck. And between all the different positions and the coil tap and all that, I get a lot of different sounds, and it's just, again, just with the clarity, and it's a nice, smooth sound. Master volume, master tone. One of my favorite things about Paul Reed Smith guitars is where they have the tone and the switch layout, because On a Strat, for example, the volume knob is a lot closer to the pickup, and so is the switch. So when I'm playing right here, I'm playing freely, nothing in my way, and if I want the volume, it's right there. See, it's a little finger, and it's right there. Everything else is close enough that I can get to it, but not in my way. With the Strat, I just can't play them because of that. Um, Les Pauls to me are kind of opposite because their switch is up here, and it's actually kind of, to me, too far from the knobs. I do a lot of things where I'll hit my switch and pull the coil tab, and I kind of need to be in the same area. I can't be all over the guitar switching things around. It just gets too complicated. Um, so the switch layout is great for me. It's perfect. It really is. The volume knob is right there. I can get to it with my pinky if I wanted to, or just get to it really close. Um, and the other thing I started playing, one of my favorite things about these guitars is that they're very loud acoustically. This is not even plugged in right now. And you can sit here and play it, and that translates very well to the amplifier or whatever gear you're using. When I play a chord and I hit it, I can feel the vibration in the back of my hand on the neck. I feel it all through the neck. I feel it in the body, and I feel it in my body. And to me, it's just part of the experience of having. It's not just a tool. It's not just a dumb hammer. It's like an extension of your body. For me, when I'm playing, I like having that extra piece of my body when I express myself. And it's just, I'm getting a little hippie sounding, but I just like it. And that translates well. Some guitars I played in stores are kind of dead. You really have to work at them, and you really have to play them, and it takes a lot more of you to put into the guitar. Whereas this guitar is giving me a lot more feedback, and it's just a symbiont circle, if you will. So that's one of my favorite things about it. Very loud acoustically, very ringy, great straight neck, low action. I have to adjust this neck maybe I'd say once a year for different weather changes. It'll get bowed or underbowed depending on the weather. But I'd say once a year I adjust the neck, and don't mess with it other than that. And it's just great. So if you end up buying one, good luck with it. I highly recommend it, and I hope this helped. See you.